Picking up where we left off, strategy 5. And strategy 5 is, again, a factoring strategy. We're going to think about factoring as a difference of squares. Difference of squares is something like x squared minus 49, where we've got a perfect square and we're subtracting another perfect square. Let's look at an example. I'll write this one a little bit bigger. So I've got 1 minus cosine squared x in my numerator over just 1 minus cosine x. So we can see that they look pretty similar. Now, 1 minus cosine squared x. I know some of you are thinking, Vista, you told me that if I had a 1 and something squared, I should look at that sign. But if I take this problem where it's just ones and cosines and all of a sudden bring in sine, which is a new trig expression or trig ratio, that is complicating. Our goal is to get simpler. So I'm going to leave my ones and my cosines and I'm going to factor it. I'm going to look at this part right here and I'm going to see how I can rewrite that. I'm going to rewrite that as 1 plus cosine x, 1 minus cosine x. And the reason I'm going to do that is this. I'm going to kind of just write couple little examples here. So if I've got 1 minus x squared, I can factor that as 1 plus x, 1 minus x. And that's the same as if I have x squared minus 1. I can write it as x plus 1 and x minus 1. The only difference here is it's not just x, it's cosine of x. So that second line, 1 cosine squared, is 1 plus cosine, 1 minus cosine. So all those ideas are kind of folded in together here. Now what we can see is we've got this parentheses in the numerator matching up with what's in the denominator, and our final answer is just 1 plus cosine x. So factoring as a difference of squares is definitely something that you want to check for. It might not get used a ton, but when you have it, it is super helpful. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to show you one more strategy, again, centered on factoring.